Hello everyone, so yes, tech rushing is back. It's more viable than ever. It is insane the stuff you can get away with now, thanks to the economic rework, along with a few new concepts that have been introduced with the 3.0 deck update and Nemesis. Today we're going to be focusing on tech rushing, and I'm going to be focusing on how to do it with a machine empire. It is now really easily, you're able to get ahead in tech if you know what you're doing and you're focusing with it. I'm going to show you two builds. One of them is going to utilize the Shattered Ring origin, which has been changed a few ways. It's been balanced out, and I know a lot of multiplayer games before the 3.0 update did ban Shattered Ring just because it was really powerful. However, playing it in a machine in a certain way now allows you to get rid of the major downside that they changed in this update, that being the ring lord habitability preference. So I'm going to show you a way to get away with a Shattered Ring start with a machine empire to really rush down tech. I'm also going to show you a way to do it without that Shattered Ring origin, but with the resource consolidation origin. You'll find that Shattered Ring is banned in a fair few lobbies, and so if it isn't, I always recommend you play that. It's going to be a lot more powerful in multiplayer games. Single player, go for it, mess around with it, but when users this does break and people really start to exploit how machine empires work now, with their bonuses that have been given, they've been buffed generally across the board, you're going to find that you're not going to be able to play Shattered Ring, so I'm going to show you resource consolidation, which is just as good as my opinion. A lot of this is all about balancing out certain things, but I'm going to go through it right now and make a new empire and show you the traits, the civics, everything you should look out for when doing this yourself. Alright, so I've just selected machine empire, just got some of the basic cosmetic stuff out of the way. Let's go on to the important stuff that matters when wanting to play a tech rush machine empire build. In my opinion, I think this is the new meta personally. For my games at least, I'm going to be running this a fair bit just because it is very powerful. So first of all, something you don't have to worry about at all, your planet type. Our origins we're going to select, we don't have to concern ourselves at all with the planet. Now, generally, if you weren't going to play with the origins, and I'll just put this in for the people who don't want to play with resource consolidation or with Ringworld, your planets actually dictate what you're going to find on them. Generally, wet planets are going to have more agricultural districts, frozen will have more mineral, and dry will have more energy. If I'm playing Machine Empire, I always like to choose my preference as dry, just because you're going to start on a world that has a lot of energy districts. It's not going to matter in the long run, but for the short run, that's something you can do to game the system. But we're not going to be starting on any of these worlds. We're going to be starting on other worlds. So this is just something for people who don't want to use those origins. They have something else in mind. In terms of your origin, I'm going to show you, again, two builds of this tech rush. One of them using Shattered Ring, very powerful. Always use it if you can. If it's banned, however, and you don't want to use it in your multiplayer games, I'm going to also show you resource consolidation. Both of these are fantastic now with the new economic rework, mainly because you get all building slots unlocked from the get-go. That is insanely powerful. The way it works now is you have to build city districts to unlock those building slots on regular planets, but on machine worlds, hive worlds, ring worlds, Ecomonopolises, and I believe one other, Gaia worlds or something like that, I'm forgetting, you get all these building slots unlocked from the get-go. That means you can build a ton of research buildings and later on upgrade them, but just get them straight from the start. I used resource consolidation, that build, in my latest game on Twitch, which you can actually see in the top right corner. I will be continuing that game and we'll be hitting the end game actually today or tomorrow, so please do have a look at following that if you want to see how my game ends up. Right now, I'm currently the global power with resource consolidation. I'm easily ahead of everyone thanks to the tech build I did. If I'd done Shattered Ring, it wouldn't even be a contest anymore. I would just be insanely good. But yeah, both of them are really powerful with their tech rush options now. So when it comes to traits of your machine empire species, here's the thing you have to be aware of. Because machine empires don't have to use either consumer goods or food, the upkeep for their research buildings is actually energy. So we're looking for stuff that's not only going to increase our research output, but our energy output as well. And that's why the first two choices are always, in my opinion, should be superconductive and logic engines. Superconductive is just going to mean you're not going to have to worry about the upkeep of those buildings too much. You're going to get more out of those jobs, which means you can put people who would be working on those tech jobs, from those energy jobs to other jobs, which might be more important, i.e. your alloy or even your research. And your research here, just making that more effective, essential for any tech rush. I'm also going to take mass-produced. What we're going to find is that because we're able to build a ton of building slots and open up a ton of jobs, we need to quickly fill those jobs to get any value out of that. That's the main limit on this build, your population speed. Now, playing a machine empire, that does allow us to settle more planets easily and get population growing there that we can bring back, which, if you want to run that way with resettlement, that's absolutely viable. But having mass produced just allows us to get that happening a lot faster and get more people into more jobs, because we will have a ton of jobs available by the end of this. To make up for this, I'm going to choose two. I'm going to first of all choose luxurious. The assembly cost isn't too bad. Hopefully your production is high enough, sort of midway into this early game rush, that you're able to combat this really easily. You'll find if you're running Shattered Ring, this is not even a problem. You can buy most of your resources back thanks to the generator district, which I'll show in a second. And high bandwidth is always my other one, just because Empire Sprawl from pops, that's really easily countered. You can simply just build more uplink nodes, or even get rid of this altogether, this stat, when you do have robot modification points. It's a bit of a nothing, weakness, and for -2 points you're getting from that, that's super good. Heading over to the government, obviously we're running machine intelligence. One of the changes that they have made is not only is it harder to get any sort of spy things thanks to the increased encryption, but you get extra assembly speed as a machine intelligence. That's why I prefer machine intelligence over hive mind. You don't get that bonus to growth speed. Building on that, your civics, I always recommend taking Rapid Replicator. Having that 20% pop assembly speed is really good. You can very easily get up to 12 assembly a month if you know what you're doing and you're stacking these bonuses. You can build extra replicators, and later on we'll get a few perks and buildings that will just increase our ability to just pump out people. Rapid Replicators is very good for that reason. For your second Civic, it really depends on what you want to do. Rock Breakers is generally very good in my opinion if you find you're spending a lot of minerals. It's not very good if you're playing a Shattered Ring Origin, however, just because you're not going to have any minor jobs at all. For other options, I do like Zero Waste Protocol just because of that minus upkeep, which is very powerful. You're just conserving a bit of energy, and so I do run that. Later on, when you do get your third Civic, it's a matter of what you want to do. Constructobot can be very good if you're playing the Shattered Ring Origin, just because you're reducing the need and upkeep of certain buildings, and because that upkeep is energy, but also the special resources, you're actually gaining some of those special resources back from the arcane generator. A little bit of a neat little trick you can do there. So that's always very good. For other things, you can go introspective just for that increased engineering research speed. That's very good, and that increased encryption does help you just retain your tech lead so people can't just steal from you. Maintenance protocols is very good just for building a bit of unity. Ideally, you don't want too many people doing maintenance drone jobs, however. You're trying to limit the amount of people not doing research jobs or not doing very much core essential ones. And OTA updates is very good if you want to be resettling a bunch of people into your main research planet. So it kind of depends if you want to micromanage or not, just because you don't get that automatic resettlement, I believe, when you're playing a machine empire. Also, static research analysis is pretty good right now, in my opinion. I like the research alternative. It gives you more, applicability, sort of just choice in that early game when you're trying to maximize research speed. I generally run these two just because I think they're the best, but OTA updates is very good if you're playing that very much micromanaged game. And that's pretty much it for the most part. I'll quickly give this empire a name. And that's all you have to do to build a half-decent empire. It's got machine, cool. We're all good there. This is, in my opinion, the strongest tech rush build currently. I did forget to choose the origin. This first one I'm going to show you is Resource Consolidation, just because that's what I played on stream. I'm going to show a few clips from that of how powerful it ended up being. I easily took control of the game within 40, 50 years, and currently nearing the end game, I'm in a really powerful position. I'm Galactic Emperor. I can do pretty much whatever I want. But I also did a single player game, that of Shattered Ring, which is very powerful with my prime assemblers over here. And while it's going to speak for itself when I show you the footage of that, it is quite good. At any rate, do try this in your game for yourself. I really think Paradox should fix Shattered Ring with Machine Empires just because it is very exploitable at the moment. Probably the same for Hive Mind as well. I do think it is stronger on Machine Intelligence, however, just due to that habitability. You don't have to worry about it because you're playing a Machine Empire. Even though Shattered Ring gives you ring world habitability, it doesn't count for Machine Empires. They can still settle anywhere, thus removing the main downside. Not only that, they've recently actually buffed ring worlds in this latest patch of the game, so they're size 10. You can get a ton of research districts on a ring world if you try really hard. I think this is broken. I don't think you should let people run Shattered Ring in your MP game still. Even though it has been balanced for organics, if I reckon you still have to outright ban it just because it's kind of busted. But yeah, that's currently the meta in my opinion. If you can't run Shattered Ring, go and run Resource Consolidation with these bonuses here. It's a ton of fun. You can take a really early lead. I'm going to now show you a few clips from my game of how I managed to do all that. So here we are, we have just spawned into this game, and I'm going to point out a few things straight away. First of all, we're starting on this ring world segment here. We have this generator district producing us 92 energy from the jobs itself. We have a surplus of plus 90 per month, which is incredibly good, meaning we can get rid of these blockers very quickly. I think I got very lucky. I got the bulldozer perk on my governor here, which means they're even going to cost less for us. But you'll notice here, on clearing this decrepit tunnels, we get gas, allowing us to build our research segment. And you also get motes and crystals for the other ones, allowing you to build the other ones here. We don't actually have to worry about the agricultural segments. We don't need food at all. We're playing a machine empire. That being said, normally you'd spend consumer goods to do your research segments. You don't have to do that as a machine empire. You don't even have to worry about consumer goods. It just costs energy upkeep, which because of our district we start with, we're producing a ton of anyway. Also to note, due to this arcane generator down here, which is producing us even more energy, it produces enough resources to maintain your first district of each type. It's so good. This is essentially a free research segment district because of this generator segment here. And so you're going to see, we're going to be able to get this out pretty much straight away. Next month, I'm going to be able to clear that blocker. We're going to be able to get that research segment out by year 2 and see some incredible production of research. That being said, what should you choose for your first researchers? These all three here are very good selections. You have a flat research speed everywhere, research speed of physics, and also energy credits. As a general rule in this game, you want flat bonuses first. Energy credits is very powerful for this reason. We're going to be spending a fair bit in upkeep for our researchers. Just making it more efficient and having more energy to play with is very good, especially because we can buy everything we need. So I always choose energy if it's an option. On those lines, society, you're generally just looking for biodiversity studies, just anything that's going to give you a flat research boost. Later on, when you get extra civic points and ascension perks, this just comes into play a bit more. For engineering, it depends on what you're going. If you're going to expand out a lot, mining station output is very good. You won't have to worry about the ones that give you extra miner output, just because you're not going to have miners for a fair bit, because you are in a ring world, you can't produce those jobs. But it's really up to you. I always suggest going for the research ones. Unfortunately, we didn't roll that. I'm going to go for mining station output. Noticing here, generally, the bad thing about playing this Ring World Origin is that you have Ring World habitability preference, meaning you can't settle anywhere. We're a machine empire. We get to settle anywhere we want, which nullifies the main downside of this place. The only issue is we're going to have a little bit, not really a great surplus of resources coming in. If we can settle into those planets with mining districts very quickly, we can nullify that altogether. So you're quite simply looking for habitable worlds. Any of them will do. Naturally, the bigger ones are a bit better. So I see a 23 over there, an arid, which hopefully will have a few energy districts that we can go for. Although, that being said, tundra worlds, as I said before, will generally have more mine districts. So I'm probably going to go there for now. So here we are, decrepit tunnels done. Let's have a look at what's happened. Not only have we gained more resources, and I will buy the minerals we need in a second to actually build this straight away, we have gained 100 exotic gas. This is fantastic. This allows us to build the research segment as long as we have the minerals for it. Fortunately, I just stripped all my ships of alloys. I got a ton that I can sell back if I want to. I will do that. I'm just going to sell a bit, and I'm going to get everything we need to build this straight away. This will take about a year, and so if you have anything that boosts research building speed, that can be very useful here if you're building particularly a lot of these. But you'll notice in a second that this arcane generator is going to produce the exotic gases needed. Also, with clearing that feature, we got extra district space we can work with. That's the thing. Ring worlds, to make up for the fact that give you the habitability preference now, have been buffed up to 10, so you get a lot of room to build these districts in. That does mean, however, if you can get rid of that habitability preference, it's very easy to exploit. That's why this tech build works. You don't get really any downside to it if you're playing a machine empire. It's still insanely broken. The key to this build is obviously balancing your energy upkeep. So I've just had to favor my tech drone job there, just because if I didn't, we're going to lose a lot of money. You'll see next tick. We just lose a ton of energy, -70. So the trick is to balance the upkeep of your calculator jobs with your tech zone jobs. Generally favoring them both is the best way to do it. The game should handle it for you automatically. It is a fair bit better, the recent update to the AI. It does know how to handle it. You'll notice that my alloy production has gone down because of that. I am favoring the tech jobs just to keep us in a good economy. But you get that pop growth, those jobs are going to be able to be replaced, and that's the reason why it's the main limiting factor of this build. You can build a ton of jobs and a ton of research. It's just a matter of upkeeping them, and you need people to be able to do that. It's hard to get those people in this, unfortunately. So if you can master that, you can snowball. So it is up to you what you want to build in these building slot districts. Being a ring lord, you do get access to all of them from the start. You don't have to build the city districts to make up for that. So I always like to go for more research labs, just because it does take a while for you to get access to more exotic gas. Again, this arcane generator will produce exotic gas, but it'll only produce enough for your first district. So the goal after this point is to get more exotic gas, and generally you can do that from building the exotic gas refineries. That just requires a bit of research. So getting more research is very important. You'll notice, however, I'm only 3 years in the game. I've got 176 research now. It's very good. Last game I did this when I was messing around, I got up to 230 with the right people in the right places. It's very powerful.
Addition successful.
There you go. So just coming back in now, you'll notice that we're about year 10, and we're at about 300 research already. I've actually had to call, get some people off the calculator jobs just to make sure we're not running too much out of alloys, because we do have some jobs, mainly the replicator jobs, consuming alloys, which is fine. We just want to get more people. The thing is, this is self-sufficient so long as we have enough pops. We're trying to get as many pops as we can, and I'm even up to the point where I'm going to start resettling some pops from my colonies to my machine capitals just to work those jobs. I'm not going to yet. I'm only going to do it when they are running out of, when they have all their replicated jobs set up. Having more planets is very useful just because you have more places producing those populations for you. Alright, so hot join protocols. We've just received a boost to our speed. We're going to try to settle down to this Tregnite here, but you'll notice that on our main planet, 5.9 assembly speed, almost essentially 6. We're doing particularly well. We've basically doubled it from normal production, which is awesome.
Construction complete.
We've got a lot of plants we're able to expand into now, which we'll be doing shortly. Oh, and naturally you can also have someone assisting research up here. I should have done that from the start. That's going to pump out a lot more from our stuff down there.
Technological acquisition successful.
Oh, here we are. Gas extraction wells. This is fantastic for us. This is going to allow us to build more research districts on our ring world here once we get enough output. Alright, so I've just started building the second research segment.
Technological
this will give us a fair bit of research jobs to play with, which we can choose how many we want to assign to that ourselves. I am going to just make sure our calculator is unprioritized so we don't bankrupt our economy over it. It should be good. We'll see. I've also taken one of the very good society research for this is unity of purpose. It removes deviancy. It also increases a bit of amenities, which means you're not having to work these maintenance jobs if you don't want to. You're going to get a little bit of crime, but ideally we want people working these tech jobs just to generate some electricity for us. Energy. I should probably use the correct term. Cool. So we've just made our research segment there. That's all done. We now have 30 research jobs. I'm only going to make 26 for the sake of upkeep. We are going to experience a net deficit on this planet, but that's fine. We will soon be able to balance out our exotic gases, so we're not losing too much. But ideally, this will all be balanced soon. Now, we do have some crime on this planet, some unrest. We should be able to get rid of that with the assembly coming through in a minute. But 421 research, we're currently at year 20. If I wanted to just see what happens when I max it all out, let's just do that and see how it is. Almost 500 research in 20 years. I really think if Paradox wanted to balance this out and make it so you couldn't do this so easily, there is one simple change that I would introduce.
Construction complete.
Instead of costing energy upkeep, make this cost mineral upkeep. It stops you from being able to exploit ring worlds as much. You're going to be able to balance that with planets, however, but I don't think you're going to get too much out of it in the long run. I reckon it'll be balanced at that point. But again, we'll have to see what Paradox does with this, because I think this is completely broken. Alright, so I've just unlocked capacity subsidies, which will do a lot for us. We're going to get a ton more technique now.
Acquisition successful.
Just pumped ourselves up to 74 energy. Wow, that is incredible. And I've just built our latest research archaeology. We can have a lot more people working these jobs if we need to. So I'm going to probably shouldn't have done that. Let's say though We do want people in here. We also want people there. I think that's good. That's a nice balance out.
Technological acquisition
It does
successful.
give us a lot of research, though. We don't have to do that. And there you are. We're in the 30th year. 831 research. Yeah, very powerful currently right now. A lot of research coming out of this place here. So much, including, and on top of everything else, all the bonuses that we got stacked on it. Even our research speed is looking a lot better. 22, 11, and 16. That's all very good. Yeah, you can really do a fair bit with this build. It is a bit of an energy penalty right now, so I am going to just resign that a little bit and just let people work other jobs. But yeah, a lot of production coming out of here. Alright, and that's our final arcology done here. So 56 research jobs. Let's see what we can get out of that. We physically don't have enough people to actually work all those. And ideally we should see some very high stats once I make sure I don't go broke. Alright, so 840 in just about 30 years, a little bit over. So that's where I'm probably going to stop this recording of it. I am going to continue this though, because I am having a lot of fun with it. But if you can see already, very powerful start with this tech rush and everything. I could easily go off the rest of this game just with this start. I won't be working all those jobs. My goodness, we're going to be scaling everything back. But as you can see, very powerful. Still broken, in my opinion. There's a lot you can do with Machine Empires, and if you play it right, you can just steamroll the game. For this reason, for anyone hosting a multiplayer game out there, I wouldn't ban ring worlds. I would ban ring world starts with Machine Empires. I really think Paradox should balance this. The easiest way to balance this would be just make it so that this costs minerals instead of energy. It's very harder to get minerals, in my opinion, just due to this. You know, you don't have a way to gain minerals on ring worlds, or even better yet, somehow giving them the inability to leave the ring world without some work. Yeah, I think it's very powerful. Try it out in your games, have a bit of fun with it. It's still here. It's a lot of fun. But please fix this paradox. Now, because Shattered Ring is banned in a lot of multiplayer games, here is another Tech Rush build with resource consolidation. It is still very powerful. And we have all these building slots. Okay, we're just building science jobs. That's all we do now. So the upkeep on these buildings is just, oh, it's not even minerals, it's energy. I didn't even realize that. That's still cool. Yeah, we're just gonna chuck down a bunch of science buildings. That is our game now. Hopefully we can do well with that. I need to buy 300 minerals though. All right, you ready for the trick? One of the Stellaris tricks you can do. Strip your ships of everything. Then have those ships upgrade. And you get alloys out of them. So that was gonna give me how much then? That'll give me 132 alloys. Mind you, don't have any ships to fight against. But I can now sell everything for free and feel a bit better about it. We're building science straight away. Okay. Well, let's see what our research jumps to after this first building's done. 95. Very good. Okay, I'm liking this. The energy credit stuff like this is really powerful. So like the stuff that gives you flat bonuses in this game is really good. Like that's what you have to go for basically. So we're gonna do that. We're playing Machine Empire, so we can just go. Whoa! 18 industrial districts. Wow. Yeah, we're doing that. More research. 127. This could be a very powerful tech rush game. I'm liking it. You're winning, son.
Technological.
I hope. I'm feeling. Look, this is a decent start. I'm happy with this so far. Again, it's all going to depend on how much of a threat other people think I'm going to be in this game. That's going to dictate a lot of what happens. Like, diplomacy is so strong now. Yeah, especially with the machine worlds, you got all these building slots for free. You get them all from the start, so I'm just going to tech rush. That's the plan. And we're going to try to get the stuff that allows us to build machine worlds very quickly. Okay. Cool. More research. We need more. 158's not good enough. I'm probably not going to build generate districts here. If I have to. If I can prevent it. I might build 1 or 2 more. You know what? Let's just queue them up. But I'm going to build industrial there with a little bit, I reckon.
Technological
And we're in the red
acquisition
already. That
successful.
was impressive. We're already there, baby. 90 of being lost in jobs. Let's go. Okay. Low stability. Okay, we'll lax off the... No, we're not.
Special project complete.
Yeah, I think the trick with this update is going to be learning how to balance your expansion with your economy. Hey! Technological ascendancy, please.
Ship
Cool.
augmentations completed.
Research speed plus the ability to research rare technology more likely. That's fantastic. Because we're going to need some more of it. How are you live this early? Look, I'm really wanting to play this. I've been wanting to play this for a while now. I'm ready. I'm awake. I was awake at midnight last night waiting for the update to come out, and it turns out they got the wrong time, so it didn't come out until later. Didn't stay up that late, so, you know. I'm just excited for this, man.
It's not wrong.
Why can't I be wrong?
Holy shit.
Nah, you're always on the right side.
Technological acquisition.
That's
I'm
true.
It is true.
Every time.
Construction complete.
I don't remember Jack being like this.
Yeah,
Where's the real Jack Benchy?
Broken.
Broken
You've broken Benchy.
To be breaking.
Remember when you could,
Fallen Benchy.
remember when you could buy an